Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining me for How to Network Virtually to Make Connections. My name is Jeff Fouts, and I'm the Assistant Director of Career Services and Experiential Learning at the iSchool. Tonight, we are going to discuss two topics. We're going to be discussing networking and informational interviews and how the two actually go together hand in hand. My goal for you after this session is to have a networking game plan and next steps as to what you're going to do starting tomorrow when it comes to networking. Whether you are actively looking for a job, an internship, or just getting started in the process, there's never a bad time to network, and it's never too early. I wanted to let you know too that I am recording the session, so just to be transparent. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to ask them throughout the session, or you can always put them in the chat as well. And I will try to get to those as they are asked. Okay. So here's our agenda for the evening. We're going to be talking about networking and the hidden job market, 5 networking tips, learn insider information through connections, and informational interview, what is it? Okay. Just to remind everyone that we do have the career fair coming up, the virtual career fair. The virtual career fair is on Thursday, February 18th. And you can register and handshake. Some students have emailed me and said that they were not able to register for the STEM virtual career fair. And I believe that I have fixed that. So I actually sent everyone an invitation today. So if you are going into Handshake and you don't see the STEM virtual career fair, let me know, and I will look at it for you and make sure that you are able to register. The career fair is 11 to 4. You do have to register to attend. We do ask that you wear business attire, you have a strong Wi-Fi connection, and you're in a location where you're not going to be having a lot of distractions. And make sure that your handshake profile is updated, and you can make it look exactly the same as what it looks like in LinkedIn. You can just do a copy and paste, but do fill out all of the sections that are in Handshake, and make sure that your resume is in Handshake as well. And also set your profile to public. And we have a online manual on how to use Handshake in Answers, and I sent out the links earlier today to everyone on how to get the Answers, and that's where all of our recorded videos are as well. Okay, here are upcoming events that are occurring at the iSchool. So next Tuesday, February 2nd, this is for all of our international students. Anyone is welcome to attend, but it's mainly geared for international students, only because the international students have a lot more, for lack of a better word, things that you have to go through in order to get jobs and internships. And you have to deal with getting permissions to be able to work in the US. So we do have a panel of international students that have graduated from the iSchool that will be happy to, they're going to talk about their story, and then they'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have regarding what the process is to get a job and an internship in the US. On Thursday of next week at 8:15, we will have a virtual workshop on interviewing in the age of COVID. And all of these workshops that we've run this week and next week are to get you prepared for the virtual career fair on the 18th. All right, so let's get to why you're here. So we want to talk about what is networking. Over the course of your career, you will develop and maintain connections to other people in your field and related professions. These connections will offer you the opportunity to learn from others, to seek advice, to find potential role models, and to help you find and refine your career path. Networking is critical to the success of a new profession. When done right, networking appears natural and organic, but is actually strategically orchestrated. If you attend a professional dinner or have lunch with an old friend, let's say, you are also maximizing your interactions and building on your personal resources. So networking, in a sense, is building alliances with people who may be able to assist with your job search. It starts long before the job search even takes place. We encourage you to network day one that you come to the iSchool, and it should prove to be your most effective job search strategy. If you do a little bit of research on networking, you're going to see different numbers thrown out there on the benefits of networking. The number that I use is 80 to 85% of all jobs and internships are found through networking. So you want to utilize these 5 steps of what networking is to begin your networking process. So networking is connecting with others and exchanging information. I love number 2, being career curious. So being able to talk to different people that are in different careers and finding out what it is that they do on a day-to-day basis, what the day in the life of is, and figure out if this is something that you can see yourself doing. Taking initiative, I mean, it's up to you to start the networking. Thinking long-term, and this is important. So networking is not a short-term goal. Networking does not stop once you've received the information that you wanted to get from this particular person. Networking should be a long-term goal for you. You want to maintain those connections, and you are going to be able to get something from the people you network, and they're also going to be able to get something from you as well. So it's a give and take relationship when you are connecting with people. You never know, even if you have a job or an internship, when you're going to need someone again to help you out of a bind, or for you to re-enter into the workforce once again. Maybe you're switching careers. And networking also deals with professional development. Every connection that you make through networking is a professional connection. The way that you interact with people and the way that you correspond with people, especially written, it all has to be very professional, or they're not going to have anything to want, they're not going to want to have anything to do with you. So you can think about networking like growing a plant. The word networking itself often sends shivers down people's spine. Networking sounds scary, but is one of the most effective career development tools that you can carry with you your entire professional life. Even if you're not a born networker, networking is an important skill that can easily be learned and refined throughout your career. Developing and maintaining a strong network of connections will not only serve you well and help you along your career path, but over time will allow you to assist others along their path as well. So it's like you're planting the seed, and then it starts to grow. And as you build on it and you take care of it, it grows more and more, and it won't just keeps growing. And that's the idea behind networking, is you want to grow your network to as large as you can possibly get it, and make it as diverse as you can possibly get it, so that you can get different opinions, you can get different types of information, and you can find out things that other people are doing that maybe you had no idea even existed. Okay, so take a look at some of this information that I'm sharing with you, some of these facts. And I'm going to start in the upper left-hand corner. So about 40% of jobs are found through the hidden job market. And this is a very interesting concept, and we're going to talk about this in just a second. But believe it or not, there is a hidden job market, a job market that nobody knows about except people that work in the organization. So think about this, 40% of jobs are found through this hidden job market. They're never publicly made available in any of the tools that you're using right now to find jobs and internships. Lower left-hand corner, on Handshake, a recruiter is 5 times more likely to reach out to you when you fill out your profile completely. This is why it's so important that everyone fills out their profiles in Handshake and put your resume in there as well. Our recruiters in Handshake are very active and they're very aggressive, and they will find you. All they have to do is a simple search, a simple filter in Handshake, and if your profile matches their filter, they're going to contact you and they're going to want to talk to you. So make sure that you take the time to fill out your profile. In the middle, 70% of hires are a result of a personal connection. 70%. I use 80 to 85%. I think it's even higher than that. Upper right-hand corner, LinkedIn members are 9 times more likely to get hired when referred. 9 times more likely. Lower right-hand corner, 44% of LinkedIn users make more than $75,000 per year. It's above the national average. So the people that you're connecting with in LinkedIn are people that are making a good salary. And these are people that are going to help you make a good salary as well. That's the point of that bullet. The people that are wanting to help and share in LinkedIn are making good salaries. So I hope that these numbers stood out to you to help you realize the power that networking can do for you. Okay, so let's talk about the hidden job market. So here are 5 reasons why there's a hidden job market and what a hidden job market is. So remember, a hidden job market means that there are jobs out there that you will never know about unless you network. Why do companies have a hidden job market? Well, let's go down the line. Companies want to be discreet. They don't want this job to be posted publicly. They have a very niche person that they're looking for to fill this role. They want to hire quickly from their network. They don't want to have to spend the time to have to go through the whole process of hiring somebody and having to put an ad out there, writing the ad, interviewing people, making offers, negotiating, going through that whole process. On average, it takes 52 weeks from the point that the job is created to the point where they actually hire somebody. They don't want to have to go through that. Employee referrals count for a lot. And think about that. Think about yourself in your own careers. Think about how powerful an employee referral is. And think about what a direct reflection that is on you. So if you refer the wrong person to the company that you work for, that's a direct reflection on you. So you got to be very, very careful who it is that you're referring to for a particular job. However, it also looks very good on you. And I can tell you guys that in a lot of organizations, when they have an opening, the very first thing they do is go right down the line to the people that work in the organization and say, who do you know? Who can we contact to fill this position? Saves money. Not only does it save money, but it saves time as well. The hidden job market. They don't have to advertise. Advertising is very expensive. So the least time that they have to advertise to fill a position, it's going to save them money over time. And the last thing is companies hire people. They don't hire credentials. So companies would much rather get a referral from somebody in the organization from somebody that works there already, especially if they're a good employee, than looking through resumes, trying to find somebody that way. So the hidden job market makes sense. It is out there, and you want to tap into that as much as you can. That's what networking does for you, taps into that hidden job market. Okay, like all good relationships, networking relationships are reciprocal. Each person in the relationship should get and give something. In networking relationships, each party is hoping to give and receive information, advice, and referrals. There are miscommunications about networking. Networking is not asking everyone you meet for a job or asking them to pass your resume along to their human resources department. Networking does not mean using people for the information you hope they have. It means building relationships so that you can feel comfortable asking for information, advice, and referrals. Things to remember about networking. The goal of networking is to exchange ideas and information, not just ask for a job. It's a two-way street. Networking is a long-term relationship. It's not a one-time contact. Follow up after meeting good contacts, sending thank you emails, and preparing for your encounter that you're going to have with somebody that you're networking with. So it's meeting and getting to know people who are willing to help you, building ongoing relationships to exchange information and get advice, following up and maintaining contact with those who have assisted you. It's not asking for a job, collecting business cards, randomly passing out resumes. That's not networking. So here's the game plan that I want you to use when you are starting to think about networking. And I want you to start tomorrow doing this. So what I encourage you to do is I want you to use Handshake as your primary tool when you start looking for jobs and internships. And here's why. Handshake, all of the companies that are in Handshake, Syracuse University vets, okay? And that means we make sure that there are real companies with real opportunities, real companies with real jobs, and the jobs actually exist. We make sure for you. When you use any other online tool, LinkedIn, Glassdoor, Indeed, Monster, Career Builder, whatever you decide to use, I'm telling you guys that 90% of those jobs are already filled. Companies have to post in those so that they appear like they're doing fair hiring practices. Okay, hidden job market. They just put them out there for the sake of looking like that they're doing a fair hiring. That's not the case in Handshake. In Handshake, there are real opportunities. Now, I want you to find jobs and internships that excite you in Handshake, and I want you to apply to those. And I want you to apply to those opportunities on the company's website. You can apply in Handshake too, but make sure that you do it on their website. After you apply, immediately go into LinkedIn. I want you to use LinkedIn as your primary networking tool. And in the search box in LinkedIn, type in the company name and then 2 words, Syracuse University. What you're looking for are alumni that you want to network with. You are not looking for the recruiter. You are not looking for someone in HR. You're not looking for a hiring manager. You're not looking for someone who's doing the same job that you want to do. You're looking for alumni at Syracuse University. It doesn't matter what school they graduated from at Syracuse. iSchool, Whitman, Newhouse, Maxwell, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what year they graduated. Could be 1982 for all you care. And it doesn't matter, what was the other thing? There's one more. The school. Oh yeah, it doesn't matter what job they have. You never know when somebody's going to be able to help you. So you type in, so let's say you found a job working for, you found a position at IBM that you're really excited about. You go into LinkedIn, you type in IBM, Syracuse University. It's going to pull out everyone that works at IBM that graduated from Syracuse University. I want you to reach out to every single one of those people, throw out your net to them and see what comes back. I guarantee you that you're going to be amazed at the amount of help that you're going to be getting from alumni. Alumni want to help current students. I have alumni contacting me daily, asking me to send them students that they can help. If nothing else, they want to give you advice on what you can do to be a better candidate, to look like a better candidate. So, and that's the key word, by the way, is advice. You're not looking for them to take your resume. You're not looking for a referral. You're not looking for them to get you in front of the hiring manager. All you're looking for is advice. So you reach out to somebody on LinkedIn. This is what you say. My name is Jeff. I'm a senior at Syracuse University. I see you went to Syracuse, go Orange. I just applied to this job and name the job, or this internship at IBM. And I was wondering if you could give me some advice on what a good candidate would look like for this position. That's all you have to say. Give me some advice on what a good candidate would look like for this position. And I'm telling you guys, if you do that and you reach out to everyone that you see in that list, you're going to get help. People are going to respond to you. Now, I'm going to tell you one of four things are going to happen when you do that. One of four things. First thing, they won't respond. Okay, you're not going to get a response from the person that you sent it out to. It's going to happen. So what? That's why you keep going down the line and you network with a bunch of people, because not everybody's going to want to help. Second thing that might happen is they're going to come back to you and say, ooh, this job sucks. Can you help me get a job? Yeah, that could happen too. Third thing is they'll say, I'm not the best person to talk to about this position. However, talk to this person instead. So they're going to give you a referral of someone else to talk to. The fourth thing is they'll say, hey, send me your resume. I'll make sure it gets to the right person. I had a student who I gave this advice to a couple of weeks ago. They came back to me a couple of days later, never networked before. And they said, Jeff, the first two people that I contacted in LinkedIn, both of them asked me for my resume. And he was all excited because he never had that before. People don't know to help you unless you ask for help. That's the point of networking. You're asking for help. I need help. And that's why you build long-term relationships, because the person who's helping you now may need help in the future. And if you can help them, you make sure that you help them. That's the idea. Look, we take care of each other as Syracuse University students and alumni. We take care of each other. When you become alumni, we're going to be reaching out to you as well to help the current crop of students that are currently here, that I'm doing this workshop for in a couple years. So be on the lookout for emails from me asking for your help to help our current students. Okay. So I just gave you a couple reasons on why you want to network. And just to reiterate, networking is establishing and maintaining informal relationships with people whose acquaintance or friendship could bring advantages such as job or business opportunities. In its simplest form, networking is talking to people, becoming acquainted or friendly with them, and building relationships by getting to know more about them. In professional networking, people want to learn more about others and their jobs and career experiences. Now, here's what I want you to think of, and this is why you need to do long-term relationships. If any one of you guys right now were to come to me and say, Jeff, can you take my resume and give it to the hiring manager for a job that I'm interested in? I would say absolutely not. And the reason why is because I don't know you. I don't know anything about you. I don't know your work ethic. I don't know who you are as a professional, what you've done. I don't know anything. So when you're reaching out to me for the very first time, asking me to take your resume, the answer is no, and it's going to be no every single time. Now, if you and I meet for the fourth time and you ask me to take your resume, chances are I'm going to take it because I'm getting to know you better as a person. I'm getting more familiar with you. I know what you can do professionally and who you are as a professional. So the more that I get to know you, the more comfortable I am with you. And the more that I see your name show up, if you're doing things in LinkedIn, if you're active, the more that I see um, you sharing things, the more that I see you bringing stuff to me that you think I might be able to use, the more apt I am going to be to help you. So the question is, should we trust freelance recruiters who reach out to us? So when you say freelance recruiters, do you mean headhunters?
Yeah, hi Jeff.
Yes.
Not exactly the ones who, yeah, headhunters, or uh, there was a recruiter who manages multiple companies or startups, someone like that, who is not associated to just one company like Amazon or Google or something like that.
Yeah, so you're going to find that there's people out there who it's their job to fill roles in different companies. So there's nothing wrong with you talking to this recruiter and seeing what the opportunity is, because this is how they make their money. They get referrals. So if they refer you to Amazon, Amazon's going to pay them for the referral. So there's nothing wrong with you talking to them, figuring out what the role is, but you want to do your best to do your research to make sure it's an actual role. So you want to go on to Amazon and check out their positions and make sure that it's an open position. So I would do my due diligence to make sure that whatever company they say they're with, check them out. Go onto the internet and make sure that you can get the company name and you can see that it's a real company and that it's a real opportunity. So in those cases, you're just going to have to do your homework to make sure that it's real. But can you trust them? Sure.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff.
You got it. Okay. So some other things are using networking as a means to exploring career opportunities, learning more about a major, learning more about an industry or company, gathering advice, getting different perspectives. And you've seen advice now a couple times. You've heard me talk about advice, and tap into the hidden job market, which we talked about the advantages of that. There are many reasons why people do not network or don't network well. Many people confuse networking with job searching. Networking is a means of developing contacts and exchanging information. Often, this exchange of information is the first step on the career path that can lead to a job. Others claim they're uncomfortable introducing themselves to people they don't know. And if they did, they wouldn't know how to begin a conversation. Some people hold a negative view of networking, believing it involves using others to get something. Still, others believe it is not worth the necessary effort forward to develop connections because they believe they don't really need to make these kinds of connections. Okay, that's crazy talk. Statistics alone should convey the importance of having a well-established professional network. Studies have shown that at least 50% of available jobs are never advertised. Some studies place that number as high as 80%. Networking allows employers to fill open positions, often by individuals outside of the company or department who learned of the open position from someone inside the company. Okay, so networking is an important component of job searches. But even if you're not looking for a job, networking should still be an important part of your professional life. Networking can offer access to information to help you do your job more effectively, answer questions you have about getting a promotion within your company, or allow you to help colleagues to do their job more effectively. So even if you're not looking for a job, networking is still valuable. And if you're building your network now, then when it is time for you to get a job or an internship, you already have this network that you can lean on to start pinging them for opportunities. Networking affords you the opportunity to interact with people outside of your regular social circle. People are an important source of knowledge, not just about open positions, but about careers and companies, entire industries, geographic areas. Networking with one person often leads you to another person with new information, then another and another, and it just grows, like we talked about with the seed in the tree. You can leverage the knowledge you gain and apply it appropriately, whether you're searching for a job or determining which classes to take next semester. How nice is it to be able to talk to somebody and ask them who's taken the class, what did you think? And help you make a more educated decision on whether you should take that class or not. It's all forms of networking, my friends. So 5 tips to networking effectively. Developing a good network is a continuous process as new people enter your life and others leave it. So developing a good professional network doesn't happen overnight. It takes time and effort to identify people who you would like to be in your network, to meet them and build a good relationship. Don't think of developing your network as a one-time activity. Many people are very good at meeting others and in fact enjoy this part of networking. The hardest part of networking is determining what to do with the people in your network, right? So when you first meet someone, it's not always clear how or why you should network with him or her. Oftentimes, other times it is immediately clear. Having an idea about the types of people with whom you want to network, those with certain majors or degrees, who work in a particular industry or company, who have a job that fits within your career plan, can help determine if the person is a potential connection. For students, the best people to network with are alumni. So as I talked about before, you want to reach out to alumni and you're asking them for advice. Now, the question that I get then is, Jeff, after that first interaction, what should I do? My advice to you is it's up to you to keep that relationship going. It is up to you. It's a lot of work, but it's much easier to keep a relationship going with a potential networking opportunity than to apply to 100 companies blindly. So I want you to think of it that way. So to keep the relationship going, we'll use IBM as our example again. Go on to IBM's website and see if you can find something cool that's going on that they're doing. Or maybe you read an article that you think this person would be interested in. Send them the article link and say, hey, I just read this, thought you might be interested. By the way, just wanted to follow up with our discussion that we had a couple weeks ago. And just keep your name out there and keep sending them information. Hey, I just took just wanted to let you know I took this class in data science recently, and here's a project that I just finished. Wanted to see what your thoughts were on that and if you ever did anything like that when you were in school. Simple. You're keeping it going. Once in a while, it could be once a week, just ping them and see what they're doing, how they're doing. You're not bothering them because you're establishing the relationship. Okay, they're either going to get back to you or they're not. Once you've done this 3 or 4 times, then go in for the kill and ask them to take your resume. So you're trying to build a relationship first and then ping them with what it is that you want from them. You can't start out that way though. And remember, you guys, you're not looking for the recruiter. You're not looking for an HR person. You're not looking for someone that works in the job that you want. These people are not going to help you. They get pinged all day long by people asking for help. They're not going to help you. Alumni will. That's the key. Alumni will help you. Okay, I think I made my case on networking. Now, we're going to move into why is it important to fill out your LinkedIn and Handshake profile, and what types of things should you include in LinkedIn? So I'm going to briefly touch upon what you should be doing in LinkedIn. This isn't a LinkedIn virtual session, so I'm just going to do it briefly. So you need to know that LinkedIn tends to be the first stop for many hiring managers and recruiters. Okay, they're going to go to LinkedIn to check you out. So when you apply, okay, and when they, by the way, when they say that LinkedIn is the first stop, the order in which it goes is cover letter, resume, LinkedIn. If you get them excited through your cover letter, and then they get very excited by your resume because you tailored it to the job or internship that you're applying to, I guarantee you they're going to check out your LinkedIn profile because they want to know the well-rounded picture of who you are as a professional. So everything, you put everything, your whole professional life into LinkedIn. You don't put that on the resume. The resume is only geared to the job or internship that you're applying to. Everything else comes off and goes into LinkedIn. There's no limit in LinkedIn, in other words. We have a limit on the resume, 1 page. And I'm telling you guys that they are going to check out your LinkedIn account. So don't feel like you're losing anything because you're taking it off of your resume. So here are the key areas that you should have on your profile in LinkedIn. You should have a professional photo. You should have the About Me section filled out. Experiences and projects, most definitely. And here's the key. We don't talk in bullets in LinkedIn. You talk in paragraphs. And this is where you can start using I statements as well. I did this and I did that and I created this. So take all your bullets from your resume and convert them to paragraphs. Make sure you have skills and endorsements. And you want to load this section in LinkedIn with all of your skills and endorsements that you can possibly think of. Your education, make sure Syracuse University is on there. And then any professional interests. We don't put professional interests on the resume. You put your professional interests in LinkedIn. Now I'm going to specifically key on the About section because this is very important. This is where you're going to be able to tell your story. Okay, so a lot of people will tell their story in their headline, which is the blurb that shows up underneath your name. And a lot of people will put sophomore at Syracuse University studying information security. Okay, that's like one of the worst things that you can put as a headline in LinkedIn. The whole point of the headline is what can you do for an organization? What do you have to offer them? The fact that you're a sophomore at Syracuse studying information security goes in the About section of LinkedIn, not in your headline, man. Your headline is a 1 sentence about what you have to offer an organization. The About section is not a simple bulleted list. It is a summary of who you are as a professional. And a lot of people don't use this space effectively. They type in a lot of stuff that was already mentioned in their work experience, and it has nothing to do extra with what it is that you're able to offer an organization. So I'm going to give you an example. First of all, here's a bad example. You're not just doing a bulleted list. Here's a better example. So you kind of want to show your passion, your expertise, and your call to action in the About section. I'm a persuader with 23,000 Instagram followers. I love marketing and want to build brands for companies. I statements. You can use I statements. We can't use I statements on the resume, but you can in LinkedIn. Within my field, I specialize in creating engaging social media campaigns. That's your expertise. I enjoy the challenge of turning heads and getting clicks. I'd love to work for an organization that values international culture and diversity. Call to action. Let's connect and share ideas. That's beautiful. This person talked about their passion, their expertise, and their call to action in a paragraph, 2 tops. Here's another example. So it's not a perfect summary, but it does a better job of just a bulleted list, right? And you can read this yourself, but it talks about their story of how they got to where they are or where they're headed. So this is the area where I would pick up from where you started your college career. I'm a sophomore at Syracuse University, studying information security, and then get into why. Why are you studying it? What is the point? And then what do you think you have to offer an organization in information security? Like, if I don't secure it, then it's not secure. That's a great headline, by the way. You can use that for those of you that are in information security. You're welcome. Okay, so that's the about section. Now let's talk about the types of people that you want in your network. In general, you want to include people in your network with whom you can build relationships through commonalities and who are willing to share information, advice, and referrals. You want people who can tell you about job openings, who can introduce you to people with hiring power, who may be willing to hire you in the future. Not every person in your network will have the same role. Furthermore, an individual's role may change over time as they build their network, change jobs or careers, and gain more knowledge. So here's the idea, when you're building out your network. Your first degree connections in LinkedIn might get you 100 people, but their connections might get you 10,000 people just because you're connected to those first 100 people. You see, in LinkedIn, when you see people, you might have noticed like a first degree, second degree, a third degree. That's how far the people are from your first degree connections. But when you send something out, it goes to all of your first degree connections and everybody that they're connected to as well. 10,000 connections, second degree, 1 million connections, third degree. Could be friends, coworkers, alumni, industry leaders, people who have the job you want, people who work at the company you like. These are people that you can start networking with, at least connecting with. Friends, coworkers, and alumni are people that you can start reaching out to and asking them for advice. But you can follow industry leaders, people who have the job you want, and see what they're up to. And you want to make sure that you exchange information in LinkedIn, join groups, follow companies. If you are applying to a company in Handshake for a job or internship, make sure that you're following them in LinkedIn. Companies love to see their name in the list that shows that you're following them. They want to know that you're interested in them for more than just a job or internship, that you're actually interested in them as a company. Be active in LinkedIn, post articles. Comment, like, and share things that are going on in LinkedIn. And when we say comment, we're not talking about, I agree. Okay, that's not a comment. Like, give some meat to the comment that you're doing in LinkedIn. Post your accomplishments. This is a perfect time for you to brag. If you do anything in LinkedIn Learning, which you get free, by the way, through Syracuse University, if you take any extra LinkedIn Learning videos, it connects right into your profile on LinkedIn, and it will automatically show that you have taken this video, or you're learning this subject, or you just completed this series on information security. Companies love that, the fact that you're doing self-learning. And it's a great platform for you to ask questions. So ask questions to people that you're connected to and see what the response is that you get back. So you're exchanging information. Okay, so we talked about networking and we talked about LinkedIn. The last thing that we're going to talk about tonight is informational interviewing. What is an informational interview and how can it help you in your career? And this is still all part of networking, by the way. So an initial meeting is not always the appropriate or convenient time to engage someone who is a potential connection in a long conversation about his or her profession, solicit advice, or ask for referrals. If you're interested in talking with this person, ask if he or she would be interested in having a longer conversation with you at a later date. This longer conversation can be a time to ask questions about the individual's career and ask for information and advice. This is called an informational interview. The job seeker is in charge of the informational interview. The job seeker must have relevant questions ready to ask, focused on a career field and the organization. So all you're saying in an informational interview is, do you have 15 minutes to talk about the job that you're in? And if you can allow me to ask you some questions to help me make a more educated decision on whether this is something that I can see myself doing long-term or not. See, you guys, when you use things like, I'm looking for your expertise, or I'm looking for your advice to help me make decisions about my future, that's a soft ask. People don't mind responding to you when you use that kind of language. It's when you come right out and say, hey, can you take my resume? Hey, what jobs do you have available? Hey, I'm interested to find out what the internships are that you have in your company. Can you sit down with me and tell me what they are? This is where you're not going to get any play whatsoever from people. They're not going to want to help you in that case. So it's asking for advice or expertise. Those are the key words that you want to get used to using when you start reaching out to people and networking with them. So here are some informational interview tips. So what takes place after an informational interview is a critical component of good networking. Too often after speaking with someone and exchanging information and advice, no follow-up activity occurs. Many individuals believe it is not necessary to remain in contact with their connections. How can you have a network if there's no connection? So at a minimum, after conducting an informational interview with someone, send them a thank you email. If your contact has referred you to others, let your original contact know about your conversation with the referral. Follow up with an additional question or two you think your connection can answer. All of these activities pave the way for establishing a solid connection and can help maintain this individual in your network. So for informational interviews, this is where you're not necessarily just focusing on alumni. This is where you actually do want to reach out to professionals that are working in the field that you think or know that you want to get into. Send them a brief email requesting to ask them a few questions about their job. See if you can set up a virtual meeting or phone call even. Prepare questions to ask, and I have those for you, by the way, in this presentation. And then thank them and return the favor. The results of informational interview, it goes beyond job titles because now you're getting firsthand knowledge of what this person does in this job or what this job entails. You are starting to make more professional contacts now, and you're getting a new insight into the hidden job market that you didn't have before. Plus, because it's informational interviewing and you're not going for a job or an internship, it gives you more confidence in your interviewing skills. It helps you prepare better for when it's your turn to actually sit down with the recruiter and have to answer the questions. So you start to see who does a really good job at informational interviewing, answering the questions, and who doesn't. And then you can use that for yourself when it comes time for you to have to do it. All right, so check this out. So here's an example of a message that you could give someone asking them for an informational interview. Could I meet with you or speak to you on the phone or email to learn about your background in whatever field it is? I'm currently researching options and your field job is of particular interest. A conversation with you could help me formulate my goals. Okay, not bad. seeking information. That's all you're asking for. Here's another example. This is when you get referred from somebody. Mrs. Smith, Brad Johnson suggested I speak with you. Okay, that's like me referring you to somebody, right? Jeff Fouts suggested I speak with you. My name is Steven. I'm interested in this field. I could use advice from someone who is in this field. Do you have time in the next 2 weeks to meet for about 20 minutes? I would really like to learn more about your company and the field from someone like you. Very non-committal. It's so soft asking them for this. How could you say no to a request like this? All you're doing is asking for information. People love to give information, man. They love to give advice. All right, so now that you know how to ask for the interview, what do you do when you actually get the interview? So here's some questions that you can ask. What are the duties, functions, responsibilities of your job? What do you like, dislike? How, why did you decide to pursue the career in which you're working? What skills or qualities are important for your kind of work? That's really important. That's a great question to ask. What are typical entry-level job titles? Oh man, that would help you so much when you do your job search. A lot of students have no idea what to search for, and they always focus on the same search, right? So if I want to go into security, I have a lot of students just type in cybersecurity, and that's the only thing that they type in. If you change things up a little bit and just type in security, for instance, you're going to get thousands more hits. And a lot of them include cybersecurity in that search. How has your work affected your lifestyle? I have more. I got tons of questions. What are the starting salaries? How great would you like to know that number? When you get your first job offer, you're going to have an idea of what the starting salary could be. What professional organization do you belong to? Great question. Should I join them? Is there personal advice you would give a person entering this field? What was your undergraduate major? How did it help you prepare for your career? Be careful with this question if you ask it, because I'm going to tell you guys at least 50% of people who graduate with one major are doing nothing in their field right now. Where can someone in an entry-level position expect to be in 2, 5, 10 years? What is the employment outlook in this field? Beautiful questions to ask. And finally, once you get the interview and you ask your questions and you get the information that you want, make sure within a day after your interview that you write your contact a thank you email. And I have the perfect example right here. And you want to make sure that you mention something specifically about your talk with them that really resonated with you. Dear Miss Bradwood, thank you for taking the time. This is an email to talk with me about careers in marketing. Receiving insight into the field from an experienced professional has helped me confirm this is the right career for me. I appreciated your perspective regarding professional development and have decided to join the Public Relations Society of America. So there it is. That's the specificity of your discussion. I will also be in contact with Ms. Adkins and Mr. Sonites as you suggested. I'm grateful for your willingness to share your knowledge. I will keep you informed of my progress in my career search. So good. Man, I am hooking you guys with information tonight. Use this verbatim and just fill in the pertinent areas with your information that you have. So there's your thank you note. So here we are, my friends. Maintaining your network takes effort. Absolutely it does. Stay in contact with those in your network on a regular basis. This doesn't mean you should call or email everyone in your network once a month or once a week or even a month. Those that have offered you a great deal of information and advice should be contacted on a more regular basis. And you're going to start to see those people that are engaging with you more than others. Others you may wish to contact a couple times a year, maybe offering information of your own, such as sending a news article you think would be appreciated, or offering to introduce them to someone you met, or passing along a job opening in which you think they might be interested. Birthdays and holidays are great times to connect, particularly with those in your network you don't speak to frequently. It's a great lead-in. Happy birthday. Networking is an effective means of exploring careers and learning about job opportunities. However, it does take time and effort to do it properly and be effective. A good network can be an integral part of helping you achieve your career goals. My advice to you is you should be networking at least an hour a day. If you really want that job or internship, you need to spend an hour a day networking. Find people on LinkedIn. For jobs and internships, find alumni. For informational interviews, find people that are working in the field that you want to go into and network with those people. Reach out to them, ask them for advice, ask them for information, ask them about their expertise. And it doesn't have to be a straight hour. When you get up and you're eating breakfast, hit 2 people on LinkedIn. When you're in between classes, hit 2 people on LinkedIn. Before you go to bed, 2 people on LinkedIn. Before you know it, there's your hour. And you start making it a habit. I'm telling you that you're going to be amazed at the amount of support that you get from people. And finally, here are the resources for you to utilize. So we have a tremendous amount of resources on answers that you can check out, especially the videos, which I'll be putting this one up tomorrow. You can make an appointment in Handshake if you are an on-campus iSchool undergraduate or graduate student. If you're an online iSchool student, then you can use this email address to make an appointment as well. So I want to, it's 9:12, so I'm sorry that I talked so much tonight. I want to take this opportunity to thank you very much for attending this session. I hope that it was helpful. I hope that you can see the power of networking, why LinkedIn is important, and how to do an informational interview. I look forward to seeing you guys in future workshops, talking with many of you to help you. I had some people send me some cover letters this week, which is awesome. Happy to look at them. And I wish you much success this semester, and I wish you much success in your job and your internship endeavors. Okay, so at this point, I am going to stop the recording.